I didn't go to school for anything. I dropped out of high school at 16. I just figured it out. Me and my dad started making videos together. It just started doing really well, really fast. The price of pearls has gone up. Most of our pearls we send off to the States to then get mounted on jewelry there, and then we ship internationally from our website. You could argue that French Polynesia, where we're at now, is the most remote place on the planet. Oh. Careful, 0% light pollution here, so the stars get insane. One of our biggest problems is we don't have enough oysters. Okay. Justement, voilà. Voilà, voilà. Ça lui veut dire toute l'histoire, quoi, de la pelliculture, de vivre à Arrêt et tout ça, quoi. So, pretty interesting morning. We had 2,500 oysters show up here. And it's just the start of a trade we're trying to do. We have one of our old boats that we stopped using that we're looking to trade for oysters, because right now one of our biggest problems is we don't have enough oysters, and our collectors just have not been working at all. So to the point that we're literally trading boats for oysters. On pourra faire des sous-titres en français. Ouais. Everyone's like getting all weird in front of the camera. We're shooting a little like just like a full day, but like a little bit more produced.
Comme tu dis, il y en a 2500.
Ouais. Il a dit, compter aussi encore.
Huh?
Compter encore aussi.
So Tavai, who's this handsome devil? He your twin?
This guy?
Yeah.
This is Grandpa Patrick.
Grandpa Patrick?
Yeah. He's the one who started this whole operation. He built the original farm in 1991 with my uncle, and my dad came around, and then here, let's just pour them all. So these are not oysters. These are called, we call them pipi. They compete with oysters, and they only really get this big. But yeah, these are like one of the biggest competitions for oysters. They grow like crazy, way more abundant than our oysters, and yeah, we try to get rid of these guys for sure. But these are like potato chips to things like parrotfish and all the little reef fish around here. So
They love eating them?
yeah, they love eating. That's why we bring our oysters in right here in the shallows to get clean, because the fish just go crazy over them. Like our baskets will be filled with these. They'll just be everywhere, and then the fish will just mop them up in like a day.
All right, go for it.
So this white stuff is no good. It's this, I don't really know what it is. It's some sort of algae or something, but it tends to really mess with the oyster's growth and can kill it sometimes. So really try to get that stuff off for sure. Can't really get all of it off, but you want to get as much as you can so that it's not impeding the oyster's growth. Let's see if I can find another one. And we're just trying to remove all the little algae and stuff. Like this is fine. It's nice also to keep these little spike things on the oysters because this is what it uses to. Actually, don't even know. It just means that it's a healthy oyster. I think it helps them like filter feed or something.
Yeah.
But you generally don't want to remove this stuff if you want to keep the oyster healthy. There's a huge oyster shortage throughout all French Polynesia, which has also been driving the price of pearls. And yeah, like anybody that we've seen with oysters, they're like, nope, sorry, we already have a buyer. So this is really nice to be, doing business with neighbors. It's literally right there. We can just like go back and forth super easy because there'll be buyers that'll come from other atolls. Like they'll boat in, like they'll take hours and hours just to get here with their crazy like 300 horsepower boats, just to come buy oysters to bring them all the way back. So people are motivated to buy oysters right now, and yeah, so this is a nice little surprise to wake up to for sure. You really get a variety of sizes. Like these oysters should be the same age, so they should be about 2.5 years old. And yeah, so this guy will get grafted, so it'll have a nucleus implanted inside, and then it'll be put back into the ocean, and then after a year, we'll pull a pearl out. This little green stuff, these green hairs, this is how the oyster moves around, and it attaches itself onto things. Like you can see it's attaching onto another oyster here. So this, you don't want to just rip it out. You generally want to cut it, because if you just rip it out, you're essentially ripping the guts out of the oyster.
I'm keeping that.
Huh?
I'm keeping this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Ça c'est mort.
Ouais.
Comme ça?
Non. Moins 100 francs, on a 200.
You want to see this real quick? So this oyster is dead. I'm assuming it's because of this white stuff. It's no good. So it's stuck open like that, which means it's just not responsive anymore. So I'll show you what's inside.
Ouais, on l'a mis.
Yeah. It's a shame, it's a nice color. So we don't really eat any of this stuff. This is called the mantle tissue, but we do eat this stuff. This is the muscle. It's kind of like a scallop. So we'll cut that stuff off. And yeah, you can eat it raw, you can cook it, make it into all sorts of different things. But yeah, it's pretty good. This is the infamous bridge that Patrick designed.
Wow.
You good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, the bridge is built with, you can see these posts that go all the way to the bottom, and then they're supported by these buoys, these massive buoys, and then you get support lines that go in all directions. It's pretty stable. It's able to like move back and forth a little bit with the waves, but Yeah, it's been a huge help for us because before we didn't actually have a bridge. We had to boat back and forth to land and to the farm, and sometimes just swim. But yeah, the bridge has saved us a lot of time and energy. And it's a little bit wobbly. It's kind of funny because
Has it scared some people?
yeah, it scared a few people sometimes. I had this one couple here one time, which was hilarious. The guy was like terrified of it. He saw the bridge and he was just terrified of getting on the bridge. But his girlfriend was stoked, and she wanted to go to land, and the guy was just like, no, I don't know, I don't want to go on the bridge. So she literally had to like grab his hand, and she walked him all the way across the bridge, and it was pretty humiliating for him. But yeah, the state of the modern man. So yeah, you can see it's a little bit wobbly here.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a ray? No, it's just a rock. Ooh, a shark. But yeah, all right, let's keep going. It's always nice walking across this bridge because it's kind of like an aquarium from above. You have all the little fish grazing everywhere. Every now and then you'll see like a big ray or like a shark eating something. You got the parrotfish, which are kind of like our sea cows. They just like go around and graze on dead coral all day. And then that over there, those buoys right there, that's our cleaning station. So we'll bring like dirty oyster baskets with all the little pee-pee and all the little parasites and stuff on them. We'll bring them right there, and then all the fish from all around, they kind of like notify each other, and they all swarm in this one area and clean all of our baskets. And then after like a few days, the baskets are fully clean, and we'll take them back out, which is like all the way over there in the blue, where they'll just sit there for another like 3 months in much clearer and plankton-rich waters than right here. Because the problem right here, if we were to leave them here, there's a lot of like silt buildup and sand and going everywhere. So oysters definitely prefer cleaner, plankton-rich waters than being right here. And they prefer it when it's a little bit colder too, and the water's a little bit warmer here.
So Tavai, I gotta ask you, because everyone else is wondering. We're here at your family's home in French Polynesia. Why do you speak such good English?
So I grew up, the first 3 years of my life was here at Kamoka. And then we moved to the main island of Tahiti just to start school and yeah, just grow up a little bit. And I spent about 9 or 10 years there until I was about 12. Until, what was that, 6th grade? Yeah. So I did 6th grade in Tahiti, and then 7th grade we moved to the States. It was a little bit of a financial thing. The pearl industry crashed really hard, and we were kind of struggling to make ends meet here. So my parents wanted to go to the States and try and find different types of work and really start up the online pearl jewelry sales business. I lived in the States for about 10 years. And I grew up speaking English with my parents. So I always had a little bit of English, even though it was a limited vocabulary. And then I spoke French in school and just with everyone else here. So French was definitely a much stronger language for me for a long time until moving to the States. And then after
Did you have
spending
a really thick accent when you moved?
no, so it was kind of funny because I'd never had an accent just because I started speaking English with my parents like at a very young age. So I didn't have an accent, but I had a limited vocabulary because there's only like, I was only speaking English with 2 people for like until I was 12 years old pretty much. So there's a lot of words that I didn't like learn quite yet. So when I had moved to the States, people were a little bit confused because I could speak perfect English, but there's a lot of words that I had to be like, what? I never heard that before. What does that mean? Yeah. Say that in English, football.
Foosball.
Football, you
Yeah,
say
it's
in
the same
English?
word. Yeah.
Football, what's it called?
Pool.
Pool, we put pool. So it took a second to really adapt to being in the States. So these are buoys, those are oyster buoys. We use them to support all of our oyster lines. Yeah, they're just
Makes
buoyant
sense.
things made to bring things up. And then these big rocks here, or as we call them boulders, we brought those over here with our big machine, and they're gonna be used to basically, we're gonna put them on the front of our boat, and then we're gonna tie a big line to this, and it's gonna create like a vertical foundation for our new oyster lines that we're building. And yeah, so that way we don't have to like go on scuba and go all the way down to like 100, 200 feet, whatever. It's a much quicker and easier solution. And yeah.
So you got to float and to sink.
Yes, to
Nice.
float and to sink, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the pearl industry collapsing. Is that still kind of where it is, or did it rebound?
Yeah, it's definitely been down for a long time. It's actually since the pandemic, like things have gone up a little bit just because there was a combination of a shortage of labor, but then also a shortage of oysters. So like the oyster collectors just haven't been doing good. So,
You mentioned.
like I mentioned
you're
earlier,
getting
so yeah, so it's been a struggle for farms to make ends meet, but that's also created a little bit of a dip in the supply. So the price of pearls has gone up quite a bit since, about 3 or 4 times what it was like 3 years ago. So yeah, that looks good, but I don't know if it's gonna stay that way or not. It's kind of hard to say, but yeah. And this is our little workshop. This is where the old man, Patrick, builds all of his crazy machines and does things builds these like machines with magnets. And
Is that how you guys power everything, these solar panels?
yeah, so we power
Yeah.
everything with solar panels. We have other solar panels, that's not the only one. But yeah, this is all this, the old man's doing all his crazy magnet projects.
Magnet projects?
Yeah.
What does that entail?
His magnet projects entails spending a lot of money on magnets, but potentially making some really cool machines. So
Tight. This is his workshop?
yeah, this is his workshop. Over here, so we have all this wood stacked up here, but underneath is actually a huge water tank. So the hole underneath is hollow and filled with water. Because we collect rainwater right over there. You can see that little pipe that goes down right into the floor. And this is the water tank that we use to water our garden. And then, so it comes through here, and then we have a pump right here that is powered by our batteries. And we have the solar charger. This connects to the solar panels and our inverter. and we'll turn that on. We'll turn the pump on, and then we'll be able to turn the hose on over in the garden and water things.
So Ahe, well, little I know is Ahe, where we are, it's not like an island, it's a coral atoll.
Yeah, so
So-
it's a coral atoll with lagoon in the middle. There's a lot of different theories as to how atolls are created. I think the mainstream theory has been slightly debunked recently, but I don't know. I'm not going to make any claims
What's
on
the
how
mainstream theory that like is now in question?
Actually not entirely sure on this. I'm pretty sure the mainstream theory is that it's an underwater volcano that has come up, and then it's just like the rim of the volcano.
With the corals built around it?
Yeah, and that over time the coral built up, and then until it like got to the surface and then built this ring. But don't quote me on it. I'm not entirely sure.
That's
true.
fine.
So yeah, and then we have our garden, which our figs here are growing pretty well. Figs seem to do really good here. Like they're just everywhere.
So how do you grow stuff on a coral? Because coral seems like not the easiest stuff to grow on.
Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest to get stuff to grow, but there are little areas where there's some soil. So like here, you know, like you can kind of, it's definitely a lot of coral, but like, you know, make ends meet. Pineapples are going off right now. Yeah, these guys, it's a big boy right there. Pineapples take a really long time. But, and then we have, this is, we have watermelon growing here. Watermelon grows really well here. Like the amount of, the rain to dryness ratio is really good for watermelons here. We got some bananas growing right here actually. They're just starting right here, just little guys. And then the bananas get pretty heavy, so we have to put little sticks here and there to support them. We got a little lime tree right there. You see the little limes in there. Can you see them?
Can I
Do you
walk
wanna
across here?
Yeah, send it.
Oh, there we go. There they are. What do you wish you could grow but can't?
Bigger stuff like mangoes. I mean, I really just wish things grew better, you know? I'm definitely used to being in Tahiti where things just grow super lush, like it's always raining, the soil's really healthy. At Tahiti, you go around and there's just like, there's fruit growing everywhere, like just on the side of the street. Like you just go into the bushes and you'll find some fruit tree, you know? So here, we'll go around here and I'll show you the rest of the garden.
What you got going on here?
This is a sand maker. So what you do is you just take all this stuff and you throw it on the little cage there and then it makes sand.
What do you do with the sand? Make like cement?
Yeah, you make cement. You can build beaches if you want.
I guess.
We haven't really done that,
Yeah.
but sometimes we'll find old seeds that we didn't know we had and we don't even know what they are, and we'll just plant them and then it's a mystery. And like a few months later or whatever, we'll see what we got and we're like, oh shoot, we have pumpkins or whatever, you know. Sweet. So our tomatoes are growing pretty good right here. Yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
You wanna try them?
Yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah, bigger ones right there. Yeah, tomatoes are going off everywhere. So this is the machine I was talking about, the digger that we use to carry those massive boulders all the way over there, and then we'll load them up in the arm and then place them onto the boat. This thing has been a lifesaver for us. It's how we built the trenches. It's just, it gives you the labor force of 100 men just in one machine.
How do you keep everything from rusting? With all this salt in the air.
We don't. We try to use as much stainless steel as we can. Any kind of iron nails or whatever, like they just rust like crazy. That's why we really try to use stainless steel screws and nails for all of our construction, because otherwise it'll start to rust inside the wood and then it rots the wood out, and yeah, things break down here very quickly. I personally really like the idea of just simple mechanics with things, like having a big water tank that runs off of gravity. So just you elevate it and then you just turn the faucet on and it works, you know. Because if you're using some kind of pump, they just break down within a year, like every single time. Like we're just always replacing parts. So the simpler you can be out here, the more efficient you'll be in the long term. So this boat over here, the big catamaran, it's kind of an interesting story. So it's a prototype that my grandpa built with one of his friends who's like an airplane engineer, I think. He does stuff with airplanes. So they built it in a way that it used to have a wing on it. And you kind of use like similar
physics
as airplanes do. And the idea behind it was that it would be able to withstand any kind of storm. And it worked. It worked really well for a long time, until one day he was sailing it and he went up top and he realized his wing was gone. It was just lost. He didn't even hear it go. And then
so there wasn't a sail on it, just a wing?
Yeah, it was a big wing. And yeah, so that was also around the time of the crash of the pearl industry. So when it came to maintenance for this thing, it was a little bit too expensive to maintain. And
now it's a houseboat?
Now it's a houseboat. Now it has a bunch of holes in the bottom.
Yeah.
It has a lot of work to get done on it. I mean, I would love to someday get it back on the water, but my old man Patrick wants to sell it. So if anybody wants to come buy a boat, let us know. But one thing is, you're gonna have to do a lot of maintenance on it before getting it on the water. So yeah, it is for sale.
Et là, il y en a plein là. Ah, joli ça.
Are you ready?
Ah, combien il y en a de cadres à récupérer encore?
Tout tatara,
Hein?
tout enlevé.
Ah, t'as tout enlevé?
Ouais.
Oh. Mmm. It's so satisfying. Some Kamoka Pearl ASMR right here.
Et chercher les bouchons aussi à mettre à stériliser là. Et je crois que... ouais.
So what part of the pearl making process is this?
Yeah, this is the sweet part.
Yeah. Good answer.
I don't want to fuck up again.
They're not doing it right, they're doing it okay.
Better?
Doing it just okay.
But it's not commercial,
We're not honey farmers, we're pearl farmers.
There was some Neosporin on there.
Pamu tafe?
Ouais, vas-y, vas-y. Wait. With your finger, get all the honey down. All the bottle, and
We had a friend come by and offer us to buy a lobster from mid-honey retrieval. Oh shit.
quoi ici. Va essayer de faire tout.
Yo, I'm gonna talk about this tree right here.
Cool.
So, I had this guy reach out to me over email. He was this like digital marketer guy, and he emailed me asking, you know, if we needed help with anything on the marketing side of things. And there's this guy from the UK, and he sounded super genuine, so I gave him a shot. I was like, hey, listen, like, you know, we can work together, but like, just you should come to the farm and, you know, experience being here and really seeing the whole process of things. And yeah, so he was stoked about it. He wasn't a very strong swimmer, so I told him, I was like, you should probably go to you know, a swimming lesson or something at your local pool. And then like 2 weeks later, he messaged me saying that he went to that he was in Egypt taking a free diving course with some like the best free diving instructors in the world.
All
And I was
right,
like, dude, sweet. And yeah, so right after that, he came here, and he was so happy about it. Like, he was stoked. He was happy to finally, you know, get out of the city and be diving all the time. And he really fell in love with free diving. And we became really close over the few months that we knew each other. And he sadly passed away a few months ago. He was free diving in the Philippines, and he just never came back. And this was a tree that he planted here that's a very special tree. Now it's the species of tree, it's actually indigenous to here. They'll grow to like way bigger than this big tree over here. And before coconut trees arrived, these trees were actually all over the Tuamotu atolls, and the birds have evolved to nest in these trees. So there's actually this one spot here on Ahe, on our atoll, that has just a whole section that's just like filled with these trees, and all the birds from all over the place, it's like millions of them, all go to this one spot and they'll all nest together. Like, you'll have one tree with like 10 different nests with a bunch of baby seabirds everywhere. So we're working on replanting our part of the atoll with these indigenous trees to kind of help bring back bring in birds here, but also they're great soil builders. So it grows really fast, and it's really mushy wood, so it breaks down really quickly, and it just is constantly like grows the soil around it. So yeah, because coconut trees are actually imported. Like, the reason they're everywhere here now is because they were planted in plantations, like to gather everything you can get from a coconut tree. And so a lot of them got removed for those purposes, but we're trying to rebuild it a little bit.
Cool.
But yeah.
And then that will make soil to make farming easier?
Yeah, it literally grows the atoll. Like it slowly, I mean, over, you know, hundreds of years, slowly builds the atoll to be bigger and bigger. But yeah. We're coming up to Patrick's bungalow right here. He's lived in here for years now. And
So tell me about your grandfather Patrick. How did he arrive here? Because he's not native Tahitian.
yeah, so my grandpa, he's very French. Him and my grandma Diana, they were living in California for a little bit, and they didn't really know anything about sailboats or how to build them or whatever. So they kind of just figured it out with, you know, reading books, talking to certain people that knew what they were doing, and they're working odd jobs and just made it happen to build a sailboat. So they built a little monohull sailboat in their backyard pretty much. And they sailed from California all the way down here to French Polynesia with my dad and my uncle, who were, I don't know, they're probably like 5 or 6 back then. This was in the early 70s. And yeah, so they showed up here, and that's how the whole connection started with being here in French Polynesia. But then my dad and my uncle moved back to California with my grandma, and you know, they went through school and everything, but then they would spend summers here with Patrick because Patrick stayed. And yeah, Patrick started building the farm in 1991 with the help of my uncle Loic, and then my dad came through and helped them as well. And then yeah, so that's where Kamoka Pearl started in 1991. They built the original farmhouse. This is one of our old little bungalows here. It's been here forever, slowly deteriorated. And I'll show you this over here too. This used to be the game room, but...
What kind of games are you playing in this room?
Did you say that in English? Foosball? Foosball?
Foosball.
Foosball, you
Yeah,
said
it's
that in
the same
English?
word, yeah.
Foosball, what's it called?
Pool.
Pool, we play pool. Yeah, all those types of games here. Yeah, and then he has his hibiscus tree here, which every morning he'll pick a few flowers and he'll bring them to the farm and put them in in some water.
It's a pretty flower.
Yeah, super pretty. So this is another old structure of ours. Used to be our bathroom.
I see signs of a bathroom.
Yeah, as you can see, it's not doing too good, but.
So these palm leaves before you used fiberglass?
Yep. Coconut leaves, yeah. And yeah, it's a little bit symbolic to the fall of the pearl industry, but yeah, these past few years, just with this kind of stuff, the past few years, just with all of our social media stuff and with all of our social media stuff, we've been growing and growing and growing, and we're finally getting to the point where all the damage that was done by the crash of the pearl industry, we're finally coming back. You know, we have a life coming back into Kamoka, to the point that, you know, we're able to actually start to rebuild the whole farm and kind of make this place into kind of have another little golden age, you know?
Yeah. Do you think pearls are becoming more popular? from what you can tell?
Yeah, I mean, it's a slowly growing industry for sure. I think just with the videos and stuff that we've been making on social media, I think we're growing a lot of awareness towards the pearl industry. I think most of the videos that we'll make, a lot of people have never even heard of the concept of like how a pearl is made or whatever, you know. Most people don't know why pearls are generally round, or that, you know, the grafting process, how that works, how long it takes to make a pearl, the fact that there even are different types of pearls. Some people don't even know that Tahitian black pearls are a thing. They just think that pearls are white. The only marketing that we were doing was like one post on Instagram like every month or whatever, you know. I think we had about 6,000 followers because we had gotten featured on National Geographic, which kind of boosted the account a few thousand followers. But yeah, it was very slow growing. And at the time, I kind of saw potential to help my parents out and my whole family kind of regrow this whole thing. So I was like, I feel like I can figure out the whole social media stuff. Even though I didn't go to school for anything. I dropped out of high school at 16. Wanted to kind of do my own thing, and I just figured it out. Me and my dad started making videos together, and it just started doing really well, really fast. So we started posting all over the place. We started making content on YouTube, on TikTok. So we're covering all the different platforms, and we're really growing the awareness of our brand, and kind of telling stories that have never really been told before. Acidic plant, they grow everywhere in this strangle trees.
Little vine.
Little vine, yeah. You see, they just like lay their roots inside the wood.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So this is our honeymoon bungalow, as I call it. Usually my dad's staying in here with my mom. It's one of my favorite bungalows because we're on the outer side now, so we're not on the lagoon side. And so you get the wind coming from this direction on it sometimes. And then you also get wind from here just because we don't have much tree cover on this side that's protecting the wind. So it's always in the wind regardless of direction. Yeah, here, check it out. Shower, just duck underneath. Little hangout spot.
Nice. It's got a coconut kitchen.
Yeah, and this is also a soil strategy. So if you can take a dump in an old oyster buoy, and then you put these coconut shavings on top. Helps to just grow soil in these little buoys, and eventually you won't even be able to tell that it came from where it came from. It's just going to be soil. So yeah, I'll take you up top. So yeah, this is my dad's bungalow. Pretty cool. We have a view of the outside, the big blue ocean, you know, and then we have the lagoon on this side. So that water right there, the water that separates, that's the border of our property. So if you were to go on the very other side, that's our neighbors. And then yeah, we'll go spearfishing out here a lot, because you can see anything out here. You can see a whale, you can see a tiger shark, you never know what you're gonna see. You have all the big pelagic fish coming through here. Yeah, it gets a little bit wild when you go spearfishing out here versus the lagoon. which is mostly reef fish. But yeah.
Is French Polynesia the most remote spot on Earth? What's
Yeah, so you could argue that French Polynesia, where we're at now, is the most remote place on the planet, because technically it's the furthest point from any major landmass. So like unless you considered like Hawaii a major landmass or something like that, you know, but
which it's still pretty far from.
Which we're still pretty far from. It's like a 5-hour flight from here. Yeah, like if you look up French Polynesia on Google Maps, you see that we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, super far from everything, which is kind of nice because like I think just being so far from everything makes us very disconnected from the drama of the outer world. And yeah, French Polynesia feels like a very peaceful place where everyone's friendly, everybody treats each other well. There's very little crime, and yeah, it feels like how the world used to be 30, 40 years ago still, you know.
And while the chaos of the U.S. election is going on, we're going to be spearfishing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's election day today.
Yeah.
But we'll be underwater hopefully. Yeah, so this is the outer reef. You can see all the coral here is angled like that, and it's because there's massive swells that will come through every like 20 years or so that just like push everything this way. Like you'll notice there's nothing really that's pointing that way, but yeah, it kind of feels like you're out on the moon out here, especially in the middle of the night. Like if you come out here on a night where there's no moon at like midnight, the whole sky is just like as clear as it gets. We have 0% light pollution here, so the stars get insane here. And being out here, you literally feel like you're on the moon, like you're just looking into outer space. Is the drop off from the reef right here. Makes it a little bit more complicated when it comes to building a bridge, but we made it work. We got our posts that go all the way to the bottom.
Well, I gotta ask you, dude, what's your dating life like here?
Dating?
Yeah, what's your social life like on a coral atoll?
Well, there's about...
Everyone's wondering.
Yeah, well, there's about 400 or 500 people here on the Ahe Atoll. So, yeah, there's no such thing as a dating scene here.
Do you ever bring a girlfriend out here, like from the States, or have you?
Yeah, like this is a few years ago. I brought this girl here from Oregon, and you know, she was really cool, but I think it just wasn't really her. It's kind of a little bit out there, you know.
Yeah, wasn't really her scene.
Wasn't really her scene, but it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not planning on being here, you know, all year, every year type thing.
Yeah.
My biggest goal in life is to start a family, so I'm aware that doing that here is probably not the most sustainable thing.
Where would home base be to still be a pearl farmer and still?
Well, definitely Tahiti. I mean, Tahiti still has, it's still, you know, very much so civilized and a lot more comfortable for sure to be living in. And yeah, I would consider Tahiti to be home. And yeah, I mean, that's where I spent most of my life, was in Tahiti. So yeah, definitely go there instead of being here for that, for sure. Wow.
On met de la verdure aussi.
Ah, verdure, huh?
What do we got here?
So we got a type of trevally here, a few different species of trevally. We got a unicorn fish. These are all caught spearfishing yesterday. And yeah, we eat a lot of fish here. This is peanut sauce with Skippy and soy sauce and yeah, all the little condiments.
Is this lunch today?
Yep, this is lunch today.
What's going on down below us?
So these are dirty oyster baskets. We actually have our new collectors in here, but they've got all these this little peepee that I was talking about earlier, the little invasive miniature oysters, and those are basically potato chips for all these little reef fish down here. Just clean them all up for us.
Nice. The hardest working employees.
Hardest working employees, yeah.
Yeah.
They work for free.
So who's this guy?
This is Josh, my dad.
What's up? What's up, Josh?
He's the second generation in the line. He's a little camera shy.
That's okay. What are you doing with those things?
These baskets are for the new oysters that we just bought today. All these baskets, we're going to be using them for the new oysters that our neighbor brought over. Yeah. What are the rocks for?
The rocks are to weigh the baskets down because the little small oysters are too light, so the baskets will float up. Throw a rock in there. It's a very sophisticated weighting strategy.
Yeah. Highest tech imaginable.
As I said earlier, like simplicity and as low tech as possible is way more efficient here for sure.
Especially when it's the only option you have.
Yeah, this is my office. Yeah, this is where I edit all of our videos. Yeah, it's also kind of the pearl / jewelry area. There's not a lot of space here. We always have, you know, people coming through and stuff, so you kind of just make it work. We got a little electrical outlet here, plug everything in.
Is this the drill for the jewelry?
Yeah, so that's the pearl drill. This is where
Nice.
we drill all of our pearls. Yeah, it's kind of like a mad scientist
Engineer
workshop here, but we make it work.
So, can you show us some of the pearls themselves?
Yeah, I have a few pearls right here. So these are keshi pearls, or most of them are at least.
And what does that mean?
And a keshi is pretty much what a natural pearl would look like, I guess. And what happens is when the nucleus is implanted into an oyster, it gets rejected by the oyster, but then the oyster decides to make pearl anyways, and that's the result. Here, I'll show you our pearl closet. We're working down below the other day. We have a bunch of tools here, but so this is where we keep all of our pearls. Most of our pearls we send off, like 99% of them, we send off to the States to then get mounted on jewelry there, and then we ship internationally from our website. But a lot of these pearls will sell to, I don't know, people come through on a sailboat, or just visitors who want to buy pearls. We'll mount them. Here, let me show you a few. These are they're not the best pearls. but yeah, they're good enough to make jewelry and stuff with them. They're not cleaned quite yet. And, you know, making like little bracelets and stuff here. This is all just like made at the farm stuff. All our jewelry making stuff. We got some little pendant stuff here.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's our pearl stock here. We don't keep much here. What happens to wood after being on the water or on the ocean for 30 years? So this water tank here has been slowly breaking down. It looks pretty bad right now, but we just put some temporary posts underneath and really reinforced it and brought the whole level upwards. So it should be good for a little while, but the plan right now is to actually remove this and then kind of redo our whole water system and yeah, just kind of redesign the whole farm for the Kamoka 2.0. And this is actually our drinking water. So water gets collected from the roof here. It goes all the way down and then goes in here, and then it just works off of gravity again. So like
Again, yeah.
The tube goes all the way under the farm, all the way to the kitchen, or the where we do our dishes, and that's where we get our drinking water from. You could say that they're the rarest gemstones in the universe, technically, because they're the only gems that are created inside of a living life form. So unless we're talking about aliens here, they're technically the only gems created only on the planet and nowhere else in the universe. But then again, you could argue that, you know, maybe there's another planet somewhere out there in the universe with oysters or whatever.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, right? I mean, if somebody has proof of another one, I'd like to know about it personally. Yeah. But
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can drill pearl real quick.
Yeah, could you make us a necklace?
Okay. It's a little bit big.
What kind of leather is that?
This is kangaroo leather. So kangaroo leather has been shown to be one of the strongest leathers in the world. It's also very sustainable leather because in Australia there's too many of them. So the government will actually do a kangaroo culling, and people are like, well, there's all these dead kangaroos, so may as well keep try to harvest the leather. Okay, I'll just cut this little piece off.
Do more men or more women buy that kind of pearl necklace?
So this kind is unisex. We mostly market it as an active wear. So like, you know, you can wear one of these necklaces. Like I wear this one, going swimming, diving every day. You go surfing with it. You can, you know, you can have it on and never take it off.
Sure we're not too close?
got one?
Oh, you just got a bearfish. So you stoned it. Sick.
Nice. 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 Yeah, right here. Right here.
Well, that was pretty fun.
We should just fish. This one isn't worth popping in, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I know it's pretty dense. I might want to hold that thought for a second. Bottom? What's the bottom? I think the bottom's a big ass fish.
Big ass fish.
Come on. Drill. Get them shit. Sharks did it.
Glad. Call the APD.
Go for this time. Did it get shark? What is it? It's just a barracuda.
It's just a barracuda.
Or is it? Is it a avity? Careful, it's a needlefish. Careful, these guys will get you. That's a good fish.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. You want to lay all the fish out for the photo?
Yeah, I'm just gonna lay everything out.
Okay.
Wait, I want to see its
Linda.
It's usually a blue meat. It's kind of interesting. Like right near knife. Don't really want to dull on the bones if I can help it.
Most people in the world, when they see that we eat barracuda, they get a little bit freaked out because
the song?
yeah, ooh, barracuda. No,
Definitely the song.
no, most places in the world, barracuda tends to have ciguatera, whereas here we've never gotten it from barracuda, and we eat barracuda pretty much every week.
What's that called? Ciguatera?
Ciguatera.
Yeah.
A bacteria or something?
No, it's a I think
It's an algae, isn't it?
yeah, it's something that grows. It's an algae that grows on dead coral, and it gets passed up the food chain, and it's a neurotoxin. So I've had it. Yeah, you get really wild effects from it, like temperature inversions, like things that are hot will feel cold and cold will feel hot, and you feels like you're about 100 years old for sometimes a couple of months straight. I had a friend who had it for 6 months.
6 months.
That was not a good time for her. Delicious. Look at the tusks on this big guy.
Yeah, it looks just like a parrot.
They're called parrotfish. That is cool. Tusks for fighting. This is that first one I got. And then right there. Pretty average day.
Yeah, it's pretty average.
I had a terrible day, but
Well, I had a great day. Oh, that was fun.
still got some fish.
You got that big long fish?
Yeah, the needlefish, that was kind of cool. I've never caught one of those, so that was definitely cool. It pulled really hard at first, and then kind of gave up.
I was off my game shooting. I missed a bunch of easy shots. Happens. You have on days and off days.
Nice.
One more? Yeah, you want to toss one more? Sweet. Little sea dogs.
Cool. I dig it.
So if you bury the head, you have all the little bugs and stuff that'll come in and just eat all the flesh and everything off of it. So then you should have a pretty well preserved head after that, like just the bone. So I don't know, I think this one will look pretty cool.
Nice.
We had pigs here one time, and when we ate the pig, I did that with the pig head, and it turned out pretty well actually. It's actually right over there, I can show you. You wanna go see that pig head? Yeah, this guy. Yep. Just buried. We're gonna give him a name. He wasn't with us too long, so we didn't really want to get attached to it, but yeah, it's pretty gnarly looking, huh?
Cool.
But yeah, he escaped probably 20 times and ravaged our garden multiple times, ate all of our sweet potatoes, dug up all of our bamboo, and yeah, it really did more harm than good in the end, but kept the skull, so. Mind taking the mic?
Yeah.
Oh, I got these eggs in here. These little guys. Sweet. You can put these two guys in there too. Right there. Huevos. Alright, I'm gonna flip it. Nice. Okay. pretty good. A little bit creamy. It's almost
Like chicken eggs?
or if you had like 10,000 like tiny chicken eggs and you ate them all at once. Kind of what it tastes like. It's just literally what it is, kind of. All right, fish is done.
So that's a typical day. The world's most remote pearl farm.
Yep. Yeah, if you guys want to know more, let us. If you guys want to hear more about us and want more of these videos, let us know down below. And yeah,
Sounds good to me.
sounds good.
All right, see ya.